Siegs, obviously we didn't have a chance to catch up with you last game, and so much happened. Can you just sort of talk about or discuss a little bit about the lead up to that moment for you when that fight happened and all that, and what you saw from this team?
Yeah, I mean, emotions were high. They were high, and obviously what happened with Dillon, we didn't want to let that rest, and I think it was just a heated game where, as I said, emotions were pretty high, and I think we just want to put a message there, and I think that's we did that pretty well. But yeah, I mean, it was an intense game. They're a good team, fast, and but I think we responded pretty well.
Obviously, tough for you to sort of have your night ended the way that it did.
Yeah, I mean, it's new to me as well. I didn't know the rule, but yeah, now I know how, that I got to strap up, and
Tonight you're going up against a team that really has a lot of offensive weapons. They come at you really fast. What makes them so dangerous, and then what are those things that, particularly as like a defensive unit, you guys have to be really aware of?
Yeah, I think just their whole team. I think they have 4 lines that can score. They're skilled and heavy, big bodies, and we just got to play the same way. We got to be heavy and plays quick in the corners, transition fast, and let our skill take over. And I think they're a good team, but I think we just need to be aware, do some time management. Know when there's a play, or when we have to dump in the puck, and
Changing gears here, before the game, you guys are going to honor Dillon's 1,000th game, and we saw what you guys were like on the ice the other night. But how much do you think he's going to like or dislike being the center of attention there for that moment?
He's probably not that guy who wants too much attention, but. It's his 1,000th game ceremony. That's all. It's only once in your lifetime, and especially for him, he's such a great guy, and I think everybody's thrilled for him in this locker room or just around the league. I think it's going to be cool for him. I think he has a lot of families and friends in town, and it's probably going to be a really special night for him.
Thank you, Six. Appreciate it. Brownie, you've only known Dilly a little while here now, I believe. Did you know him before you? Not really, eh? Not really. When you see that moment happen in that last game against Columbus, and the way this team, really, came to his defense multiple times over, what does that tell you about what has built here in this team, especially for the type of person he is?
Yeah, I think it says a lot about him. I think he means a lot to this group. He's definitely a big-time emotional leader in here, and he's the guy that would stand up for his teammates no matter who the opponent is. So, it's an emotional thing. I mean, everything was heightened. I mean, it's 1,000th game, everything going on. So, it was just an unfortunate event. And, I had the opportunity to talk to a few of their guys in their team, and, that's not the outcome they wanted to see for Dilly either. I know there's some classy guys over there. So, anyways, it was an unfortunate event. And, not to outshine 1,000 games, which is a pretty incredible feat. So,
you've known him a little bit here now, and he's such a team player, as you just sort of discussed. How do you think he'll feel about, a pregame ceremony fully devoted to him in that spotlight?
No, I think it would be. I mean, it's awesome, and not only just awesome for him in that situation. I think when you play 1,000 games, it's not just the guy; it's the family and his coaches and his parents and everyone that's kind of helped him along the way. So it'll mean a lot for him, and also for for his group and for all of his ex-teammates, his ex-coaches. So it takes a village to kind of have that type of accomplishment. So you should feel very, very proud.
The Dallas Stars are a team that with their offense can just keep coming at you. They've got 4 lines that can score, can really do some damage. What's the most important thing when playing a team like that, knowing what your team game is right now?
Well, I think it's important for us to get everyone involved. Like you said, they're going to play all 4 lines, and they come at you in waves, and so they're able to play at a high pace. A team that I've been pretty familiar with over the last couple of years, and they got a lot of skill. They got some good goal. Really well-rounded group. So for us, it's just making sure doing what makes us good and what makes us successful, and not being too concerned with what they're going to bring.
With all the emotional factors that were in last game, is that one where you just kind of wash it and not really look at the X's and O's, or how do you guys kind of digest a game like that moving forward?
Yeah, I think so. I think I think we started the game really well, and a bit distracted as the game went on. There would have loved to find a way to win that one. Especially for him, but I think that there's we're getting close to 25 games in or something like that now. We got to start to understand what makes our team play well, and what we need to do to be successful. And so for us, it's becoming more and more clear, and so it's just sticking to that. And so we know when we're not having a successful period and what we're doing, and we know what our good process looks by now. And so it's just about building on that and trying to stay with that as long as we can.
Thanks, Brownie.
Yeah, no problem.
We saw Dilly out there. Just wondering how he's doing, and would you expect him to be able to play tonight?
Seems great. He's in good spirits and feeling good, so that's the plan.
Before the game, you guys are going to honor him for for his 1,000th game. You know him so much as like a team player, a guy who sort of doesn't love the spotlight. What do you think that this will be like for him?
I mean, just like I said the other day, it's an incredible achievement and milestone, the chance to share with your family and kind of get that recognition, especially for a journey like his. It's a great opportunity to do that, and I'm sure he'll appreciate it, and whether it's in the moment or down the line.
The Stars are a team that have so much offensive talent. They can come at you, consistently. What's the most important thing when your group is playing its best?
Well,
a team like that,
you just got to be good in all areas. 5-on-5 special teams or goaltending's got to be good. They've got some high-end guys, especially on those top two lines. I know they've got some injuries like we do, but they're a dangerous group that can strike if you just make a mistake or two that way, and then they make it hard on you defensively too, and good goaltending. So we've got to find our way through that. And they've been, best team in the league on the road this season. So all that sort of stuff, you got to be prepared to receive their best.
Sheldon, so Pesci and Kovacevic out here, what's their status right
now? They are working their way back and not close to playing at this point. That's why you see them over there and not over here.
You look at their power play, 3 of those guys are leading the league in power play points. How do you assess what they're going to bring tonight, and do you make any adjustments based off of what you're seeing over there for your penalty kill? Because your penalty kill has the opportunity to really press in those moments too. Do you stay more reserved in a game like this?
I don't know what reserved is. You never want to be reserved. You want to be aggressive when you have the opportunity and not give them the time and space that they want. I think every team in the league is similar in nature, where you're going to be aggressive when you get your chances. But if they've got you and they're set, then now you've got to be, respectful of their options and the threats and contain that. Best way is to stay out of the penalty box, and next best way is to win the face-off and get the clears and disrupt their entries and all that kind of stuff. So, power play is a big part of their game. It's also a big part of what gets their best offensive people really feeling it and get their confidence. So, that's a big focus for sure. Not too many adjustments necessarily, other than just being really aware of what the threats are. And, Shazi will take care of that until we come back this evening with our PK meeting.
So we're on a record pace right now for overtime games this season. I was wondering if you had any theory why overtime games have been up, not only this year, but in recent years as well.
The only thing I can say is just it's a reflection of the competitive balance in the league. The games are closer, the games are tighter. There's a lot more that are tied, later in the third periods. And I think you get a lot, teams maybe are a little more conservative in nature to just make sure you get at least the one. So a lot of that's coming through what's happening through the first 2 periods that have kind of set the table for that. And then the other side of it, I think, comebacks and, teams that are tying up games and coming from behind, I think there's a upward trend in that area as well. That's, all that kind of goes hand in hand. But I think a big piece of it is just how valuable the points are for both teams in most games that you're playing. So when you're kind of right there, you're just wanting to make sure you get to at least the one and take your chances after that.
Has your approach to having a third period lead changed? Like you said, I mean, like even like a 2-goal lead in the third ain't safe anymore. Has your approach changed as a coach?
I wouldn't say so. You're mindful of the quick strike ability of the opponents when you're playing with the lead, and just how diligent you've got to be. We've kind of gone through stages here where we early in the season, we had through our stretch of winning 8 in a row, we had a lot of third period leads that we managed really well and were composed within that and found ways to get the points. And then we've had times recently where it's been a little more sporadic. We haven't had as much opportunity to protect those leads, and you can kind of see that guys get a little uncomfortable in those spots. So to me, it's more about the rhythm and consistency and the confidence. I wouldn't say we make any real adjustments. We still want to be aggressive. You want to play on the other team's half of the ice. You just maybe want to be a little more intelligent with the puck and your line changes and all that sort of stuff. But the plan really hasn't changed.